It's Friday, October 18th. I'm Jennifer Bong. Coming up, tricked out rides head to Sin City. But first, a look at your morning headlines.
The local leaders made the decision that they felt strongly that they should stay out until the vote.
The UAW strike against General Motors will continue for at least another week. After a 6.5-hour meeting in Detroit Thursday, the union's GM National Council voted to remain on strike while members voted on a tentative contract. Voting on the proposed deal will begin on Saturday, and final votes are due on Friday, October 25th. In a statement, GM said, quote, "We encourage the UAW to move as quickly as possible through the ratification process so we can resume operations and get back to producing vehicles for our customers." The tentative deal includes wage increases, a removed cap for profit sharing, and a path to full-time employment for temporary workers. Healthcare benefits remain the same. Also part of the deal, Lordstown Assembly in Ohio and transmission plants in Michigan and Maryland will be closed permanently. Workers from those plants will be offered several options for retirement bonuses, early retirement, or buyouts of up to $75,000. Here's UAW spokesman Brian Rothenberg on the closures.
I think our national negotiators and all of us did everything they could. I think that you will see that we tried to do our best when we realized the situation for the workers in those plants by the assistance package we were able to negotiate, and because the unions exist, we were able to do that. I think that most of our members understand, and all of our leaders understand, the reluctance of what happened.
This was the scene Thursday night outside of GM's Detroit-Hamtramck assembly plant. A handful of workers continuing to march with signs in hand. The factory, which was scheduled to end production in January, will remain open under the tentative UAW-GM deal. Nelson Worley, a 42-year GM employee, says he has walked roughly 98 miles on the picket lines since the start of the walkout. And he has no problem staying on strike until the labor agreement is ratified.
I'd rather be out here and know that it's finished before we go back in, as opposed to going in and then having a no vote and we come right back out. I think it would be a harder startup, so I would rather just finish it. If it takes 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever it takes, we're here.
We'll stay at Detroit-Hamtramck. GM has agreed to invest $3 billion in the factory to build electric pickups, vans, and battery modules. That's according to a copy of the proposed contract obtained by Automotive News. GM telling the UAW that the plant would employ more than 2,200 people at full capacity. The investment represents 1/3 of the $9 billion that potentially would be spent on GM's factories, including $1.3 billion in indirect investments. Elsewhere, GM would spend $1.5 billion at its Wentzville, Missouri assembly plant to build the next generation of the company's midsize pickups. The automaker would invest a combined $1 billion in the Lansing Delta Township plant in Michigan and Spring Hill Assembly in Tennessee to build next-gen midsize utility vehicles. GM would spend about $200 million in a new vehicle program in pre-production operations in Warren, Michigan. The automaker also would invest $2 billion in U.S. factory refurbishments. Meantime, striking UAW janitorial staff reached a tentative agreement with Aramark on Thursday. Aramark is the vendor that employs the 850 janitorial workers at 5 GM facilities. The UAW said those workers will also continue to picket. They have been on strike since September 15th, 1 day longer than GM workers. The Specialty Equipment Market Association show kicks off in Las Vegas on November 5th. The annual event is a showcase for aftermarket accessories. Here's a sampling of what automakers will show. Hyundai will unveil the Veloster Grappler concept, It's an off-roader that features oversized all-terrain tires, a roll bar inside the cabin, and a carbon fiber hood. Other accessories: racing seats, first aid kit, and outdoor dome tent. And over at Ford, the automaker will reveal customized versions of the 2020 Escape and Explorer and the 2019 Expedition. This Explorer ST, for example, gets a sleek gray paint job with red accents. It has 24-inch wheels and a custom interior. The car maker will also show off modified versions of the midsize Ranger pickup and Transit van. Finally, a first shift footnote. Turning 56 tomorrow is General Motors President Mark Royce. Thanks for watching this week's First Shift. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Take care.